Hello, this is the maxproud channel, and this is a shout out to OGNAJD123. That's OGNAJD123. I hope I said it right. It's right here. Yes. Who gave me this idea for this video? If you know my videos, you know that I've praised SX basses for a while now. I have several of them, and I've always praised the fact that they're probably one of, at least, the best quality basses out there. It doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, of course. They come from overseas by way of, well, the way I buy them, by way of www.rondomusic.com. That's rondomusic.com. And like I said, the great basses, quality instruments that don't cost you your house. And comparatively, well, how do I compare them with the Fender Squiers? Another great bass made by Fender Musical Instruments, which is of lesser quality than their mainstay basses, and jazzes and precisions, but made with that same Fender quality and much more inexpensive, and you can handle it with your pocket, within your budget. But how do they measure up between them? You would think that I would kind of lean toward the Fender products because, Fender, it's Fender, it's from here. But these particular basses, let me show you one right now. Excuse me. This is a Fender Jazz, of course. This is the Fender Squier Jazz. This was purchased at the time between $150 and $200, somewhere along that range. And great bass. I don't have it plugged up right now. I did. This is a passive bass. The only improvements I did were on this. Made it look a little vintage with the pick guard and bridge guard, and great bottom to it. Nice mid range to it. It's a great bass. It doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. Now, the thing about the Squiers, they have a couple levels. This is the basic level, and then there's a higher level. Let me show you that one. Oh boy. I think I've shown this one before. This is a higher level Fender Squier Jazz. I've made some improvements on them, but let's, it's got a preamp in it and everything. Let's skip the improvements. Just basically, this is one of their vintage basses. It's called the Vintage Squier 77, based on the 77 jazz bass back then. And it's got the pearl inlays and maple neck and a real nice bass. Cost about a little over $300, $350 maybe at the most, retail. Great bass, a little better quality. You're not going to go wrong with either bass. This is just a little bit better. Okay, and so these are the two levels of Squier basses you're going to have out there. You see on this on the logo here, it's kind of a same logo, but it's a little more fancier. It's like a gold Squier name there, trimmed in black, and the lower level Squier I just had, you just got a plain black logo there, and it's primarily the you can tell the difference in them, basically. And both of them are great basses, and it's still not going to hit your pocket too hard. But now comes the SX basses, and like I said, I've praised these basses for a while. Here's an SX Jazz. This is called the SX Vintage model, Vintage series model, and meaning by vintage, the neck, especially the maple neck, it's made sort of like the way those old Fenders used to be made back in the 60s and 70s. And wow, man, it's quality. I mean, it feels good. This is a passive bass, no improvements on it, basically, except for these pick guards. And nice rich tone, everything you want in a proper bass and in the jazz. And what can I say, man? And this, at the time, I think I bought this 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, at the time. And the prices haven't really changed that much. At the time, this bass cost retail, without the shipping and everything, $109.95. So this is more inexpensive than the lower level Fender Squier jazz over there. Quality, God, I hate to say it because I'm such a Fender fan, but the quality is that much better than the Fender Squiers, and that's surprising. I mean, you get so much with these SXs. So and the electronics are all just about the same because OGNA JD 123 asked about that. Basically, I mean, getting either the Fender Squiers or the SX basses as an entry level bass, if you're just starting out, I mean, there's no comparison with that. I mean, why would you get something else? Because it's they're so good for that, so good for the beginner, and for you and the adult or the child just wants to learn, a young guy just wants to learn. If they find themselves disinterested later on and not continue their musical studies and go on to something else, well, you won't be out several $100, with this or the Squiers. Comparing the two, I gotta give SX just a little more leeway, because of the price and because of the quality. I mean, it's just you really can't. I've said it before. You can't beat the SX. And like I said, I'm also a big fan of Fender, but I guess if you're gonna get a Fender, I mean, the Squiers are beautiful, but between the two, got to go with my trusty SX. I tell you. That's basically it. And then it comes upon personal taste. Maybe you just like the Squiers a little bit better. That's fine. You're not gonna go wrong with either one of them. You're really not. So that's my comparative analysis. Shout out to my man OGNAJD123 for giving me the idea. Really appreciate it. And we'll get back to you, okay? All right.